Because I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass, no trouble. I'm all about that bass. Hello, my fellow makeup enthusiasts. Welcome back to my perfectly healthy expression of makeup enthusiasm. My name is Lainey. Today is all about the base. I did a Makeup 101 video. I'm now calling it Mere Mortal Makeup Tutorials. Not tutorials. No. Scratch that. Tutorial is a little bit strong for what I actually have to offer. We're calling it just Mere Mortal Makeup. So this is makeup for regular people who are not on YouTube, who are not trying to look like Instagram models, who just want to know a little bit more about makeup and who want a more realistic idea of what's really necessary, what's really not necessary, because I can only imagine if you are new to makeup, whether you're a teenager or whether you're a lady in her 30s or 40s like me, and you're just now getting into makeup and you're watching YouTube videos, it could be so overwhelming. I can't even imagine how overwhelming that must be. So I'm just here as a mere mortal, as someone who's not that great at makeup, but someone who's been using makeup for years, who's really into makeup, who finds it really fun, who finds a lot of joy in putting on makeup and talking about makeup and buying makeup and thinking about makeup. So I'm just here today to talk about the base. So we're gonna talk about primer, foundation, powder, all of that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Starting out, my skin is clean. My skin is not moisturized. I didn't feel the need for it. If you have dry skin, moisturizing before you put on makeup might be a good idea, but I cannot emphasize this enough. Not everyone needs to moisturize before they put on makeup. It is optional, and your skin will tell you whether you need to moisturize. I said in a previous video that I went through a phase where I was slathering on so much moisturizer and my skin got dry. And then when I went on a skin fast and backed off on the moisturizer, my skin got actually a little bit on the oily side, which I don't mind because I feel like having slightly oily skin makes my skin look a little bit more youthful, so I like it. But anyway, my skin is not moisturized. If you want to moisturize, have at it. Now, I have said many times that I'm not sure that primer actually helps, but I am going to prime today. I'm going to use the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. And this little thing was a freebie that I got from Sephora with points. A big container of this, I think, is like $65, but the little squeezy tube, this, is only $20. And I actually prefer the squeezy tube. I just can't find it right now, and honestly, I'm almost out of it, so I'm using my little baby sample. Now, where do you put your primer? It depends on your priming goals. Are you trying to minimize pores? Now, before we talk about pore minimizing primers, let me tell you what they do. They are usually silicone based, and they usually sink into your pores to try to minimize the appearance of pores. I personally don't give a blip about pores. I'm human, I have pores, and honestly, life does not happen in HD. Nobody is going to be close enough to my face to actually see my pores. I mean, unless my pores are the size of craters on the moon, which that's only happened to me once, actually, and that was pretty bad. If you're trying to minimize your pores and you're using a pore minimizing primer, that primer is going to sink into your pores, and it is likely to clog your pores, and you are likely to get acne. Not necessarily, but it could happen. If you are trying to just make a stickier base on your skin so that your foundation will stick better, if you're trying to minimize the oily bits and keep the oils of your skin from seeping through and kind of melting off your makeup, concentrate on the T-zone. And so that's what I usually do. I usually put it right here, and that's where I tend to get really oily and my makeup tends to melt off, and also right in between my brows. My nose sometimes gets on the oily side, and then pretty much the rest of my face doesn't tend to be oily. There are so many different types of primers. I'm not going to go through all of them. Well, I'll try. There are pore filling primers, pore minimizing primers, moisturizing primers, oh Lord, Luminizing primers, those I stay away from because I don't like that dewy look on my skin. Oh. You know what? If you think you need a primer, seriously, go to Sephora and just tell them your skincare concerns, and they will probably recommend the Smashbox primer because that's what everybody loves. I personally don't think that that stuff does a damn thing, but I love Smashbox. I just don't really care about that primer. But it might work great for you. And let me tell you about my experiences with the salespeople in the makeup section of Sephora versus the salespeople in the makeup section at Ulta. I feel like the Sephora employees are more knowledgeable when it comes to makeup. By far. Now, I feel like the Ulta employees in the skincare section have a lot of knowledge, but in the makeup section, I have been flabbergasted when I've gone into Ulta and the employees don't know what's out. They don't have any good recommendations. It's shocking. That's just my experience. So I'm nice and primed, and I am not going to do the typical YouTuber trick where I prime one half of my face and leave the other half of my face unprimed to see on which side of my face my foundation wears better. Was that even grammatical? You know what I mean. The reason I'm not going to do that is because it's not going to be the same thing for you. Your skin is different. You're probably a lot younger than I am. If you're not younger than I am, you probably have a different skin type. Maybe you're dry. Maybe you're oilier than I am. Maybe it's a different time of the month, because I can tell you that my skin behaves very, very differently during my luteal phase compared to my follicular phase. So it wouldn't tell you a damn thing if I did that. And that's why I'm going to forego that typical YouTuber gimmick. And since I ragged on Ulta a little bit, I'm gonna rag on Sephora a little as well. Now, I'm using the Too Faced, show up, there we go, the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation. I really like this foundation, and I have a story to go with it. A couple of years ago, before I was in my 40s even, I went to Sephora and I asked to try a sample of this. And the salesperson said, "Oh, that's not great for mature skin. Try the It Cosmetics BB cream, CC cream, something." Whatever it was trash for me. It may be really good for other people, but it didn't work for me. And so I just kind of forgot about the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation because I was like, oh, I'm too damn old for it. Bull to the shit. It looks really pretty even on mature skin. Now, I am using a beauty sponge today. In a previous video, I advocated applying foundation with fingers. That works too. I said that because I don't want people to feel like they have to run out and spend $20 on a beauty blender. And because I have heard professional makeup artists say that it's really good to apply your foundation with your fingers because the heat from your fingers and the heat from your face helps the makeup really warm up and just kind of sink into the skin and give you that really, really nice finish. I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe I misheard. Maybe I'm an idiot. But today I am using the beauty sponge. This is not an actual beauty blender because those little fuckers are 20 bucks. And I really think it's a good idea to replace your beauty sponge on a pretty regular basis. I don't care how much you clean it, your skin does contain bacteria and you want to replace your sponge. I mean, think about it. Do you replace your kitchen sponges or your bathroom sponges? Because if you don't, you should, because it's gross. And if you're using something on your face, you better clean that little son of a bitch and you better replace it on a regular basis. These big cuddly teddy bears of a beauty sponge are, they're around $7. The smaller ones are a little bit cheaper, but they're usually on sale. I usually end up spending like $4.99, $5 for these, and I keep them for about a month at a time. Why else might your beauty sponges become riddled with bacteria? Because if you're applying foundation, you're probably gonna get close to your mouth, and your mouth is filthy. Let me tell you, I don't care how much you brush your teeth. I just brushed my teeth, and the human mouth is just a cesspool of germs. I don't care how clean you are. And you're gonna get this near your mouth. You're gonna probably have a little bit of saliva on your lips. Saliva is a cesspool of germs. So yeah, these little things are gonna get germy. Oh, and by the way, the Too Faced Peach Perfect Foundation smells really good. If you like peaches, which I do, Actually, it doesn't smell like real peaches. It smells like peach candy, which is lovely to me. Now, a step that a lot of YouTubers tout as essential, and we're talking good-hearted, knowledgeable, beautiful YouTubers, they will tell you that you need to do your under eye. I don't have a concealer. I don't like to do that step. I feel like my skin is too old for it. I'm not even gonna say mature. Fuck maturity. It's old. It's old as fuck. They will take their concealer. I'm using eye primer and I'm not gonna actually put it on my face. I'm just gonna show you. A lot of YouTubers will draw a big triangle underneath their eyes and then they will pat it down. This is in theory to brighten the under eye area. Take a beauty sponge, a damp beauty sponge, and they dip it in the powder. Let me show you what that looks like. They'll dip it in loose powder and then they'll put that all over their under eye area and let it bake. And then they'll usually do the rest of their makeup and then they will dust it off. I don't do that. Now what I do like to do is take this. This product is the Becca First Light Brightening Corrector. Yes, Brightening Corrector. I'm reading it. Can you see it? It doesn't matter. What it is basically a slightly shiny concealer-ish type thing. Now I don't draw a triangle. I just put it right here on the inner part of my eye, and I actually take it all the way up here where my deep set eyes tend to hide in the shadow to brighten the under eye area. But I'm not gonna use concealer and powder again because my skin is mature. And there are plenty of people older than I am who will say, she's wrong, you can totally bake, even into your 50s, into your 60s. Maybe they can, I can't. And I'm just pressing the product into my skin, and I'm pressing pretty hard. Something that is a pet peeve of mine, I hate it when I watch videos and they're just barely dabbing the skin. I'm like, what is that doing? No, press it. Actually press it into your skin. Otherwise, what are you doing? You're faking it. I am saving highlight, blush, and contour for a separate video, but I want to talk about the big question to set or not to set. I don't like to. I personally don't like a lot of goop on my face. The fewer products I can get away with using, the better. And that's just me. I feel like if you have fewer products sitting on your face, that's a reduced risk of having a breakout or having a bad reaction to something. That is fewer products that might settle into your fine lines, and that's just more time in the morning for like taking a dump or enjoying your coffee, whatever. A lot of people swear by loose powder. I really don't like loose powder. For me, it looks cakey on my face. I don't like it. But again, I'm talking about Becca. This Hydra-Mist setting powder, I think is really good. It doesn't cake on my face, and I think it's because there's some way that they managed to infuse some moisture into this powder, because when you put it on your face, I'm gonna just put a little tiny bit like right here where I tend to get super oily, it feels cool. It almost feels damp, but oh man, I like this stuff. But I very rarely will take this and dust it all over my face unless I'm using it to blend, which is something that I don't hear a lot of people talking about. I hear them talking about powder as a totally separate thing. I personally like to take a finishing powder and kind of blend my cheek makeup together, but that's just me. Now we've talked about powder, now let's talk about setting spray. I have the Morphe setting spray. You can get this at Ulta, you can order it online. MAC Fix Plus is another favorite. I do like the Urban Decay D-Slick for my eye makeup because my eyelids tend to get oily, and in my mind that is helping, so I'll talk about that when I do the eye video. Setting spray, do you need it? I mean, it's kind of fun to use, and I don't think it hurts anything. I don't feel like it cakes anything extra onto your face, and it's certainly a very quick step. Maybe for you to just psychologically feel like you are done and you did everything in your power to make sure that your makeup stays in place and give you a little extra boost of confidence, sure. Does it do anything? I don't think it does. I really don't think it does. But, I mean, you be the judge. If you feel like your makeup is sliding off and you feel like you've only been out and about for a couple of hours and your makeup is already really coming off or just breaking or cracking or just melting away. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention oxidation. You may or may not have heard that some foundations oxidize. What is oxidation? Well, basically, if I can remember my 11th grade chemistry, it is a process by which one substance gives some of its electrons to the other substance. In English, essentially, it's rusting. It's the same thing as rusting. So what it means in the real world is that your foundation is going to darken. It is a chemical process. It is the interaction of your foundation and your skin. So one foundation might oxidize on me, but not on you. And another foundation might oxidize on you, but not on me. So there is no such thing as a foundation that oxidizes on everyone or a foundation that doesn't oxidize on anyone. So you're just gonna have to kind of play with it. That's why I always recommend going to Sephora and getting a sample and trying it out and waiting an hour or so to see what it looks like. So right now, my foundation has oxidized a little bit. It's not as ghostly white as it was when I first put it on, but it doesn't quite match this yet. And your goal should be to have your face match your décolletage. And you've all seen the pictures where the face absolutely doesn't match. It's either way darker or way lighter, and we all know that that is not cute. And that wraps it up for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. I am a microscopic germ of a YouTube channel, so I read and answer everything. If there's something that I didn't cover that you would like me to cover in another video, I'll do it. If there's something that you think I got wrong, you know, that's YouTube. Fine, tell me. I'll probably appreciate it. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I hope that this was helpful to someone out there. And as always, thank you so very much for joining me. Follow me on Instagram. I will follow you back. Subscribe, join my tiny little family, help me get past the germ stage and grow a little bit and maybe be a couple of cells. That would be fun. Let's see, throw me a pity like, give me some encouragement to make some more videos. Very special shout out to you if you are watching this video on the toilet, and until next time, stay adorably obsessed with makeup.